Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today I got a very interesting video for you guys. It's going to be called The Hollow Earth. You're going to find some very interesting things what the Bible has to say about that. But anyways, or for further ado, let's get into this. Sorry, I like talking with my hands. Philippians 2:10. That at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, of things in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth. Very interesting. Let's keep going here. Now this is the commandments of God, right? Exodus 20:1-4. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or the water, or that is in the water under the earth. There it is again. And we have, people making graven images of things that are under the earth, but also in heaven, that is in heaven above, right? And in the Bible, there's three heavens, right? You got the air, space, right? And then God's abode, right? Heaven. Heaven of heavens, I guess you want to call it that, right? So when the Bible talks about like the air or like the heavens, it'd be like the second heaven is where these principalities are, right? Which Paul tells us, that, what? I'll bring it up, might as well. I don't even know if I'm spelling this right. My grammar totally stinks. Okay. Right. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Yeah. So that's what they're making graven images of, right? These entities are real, right? They're the fallen angels, right? For the umbrella term for them. But of course, you got your cherubims, your seraphims, ophanims, all that stuff, right? But different classes. Anyways, Revelation 20:13. Now here's the sea again, right? The water. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. Which is interesting. I have something about Job and Leviathan. It could be Leviathan. Very interesting. I'll bring it up when I get to it, though. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works, right? So, death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. So there's things in there. Ezekiel 32:18. Son of man, wail for the multitude of Egypt, and cast them down, even her. Interesting. And the daughters of the famous nations, unto the nether parts of the earth, with them that go down into the pit. Okay, so now we have entities going into the nether parts of the earth. God casting them down into the earth. The nether parts of it, I should say. And now we're going to get into what I would call Abraham's bosom, or the Garden of Eden, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion. So let me preface that as it's my opinion here. Okay, so the book of Enoch, chapter 26. And I went from thence to the middle of the earth. Did you hear that? And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place, in which were trees. Oh, there's trees there, right? Which branches abiding and blooming of a dismembered tree. And there, and interesting, I wonder what that dismembered tree is. Could it be the tree of knowledge? The one that Adam and Eve fell to, right? And ate the fruit of it. And there I saw a holy mountain. And underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine. Right? We see this in the Bible, right? But anyways, in it also ran a stream underneath the mountain. In the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of the small elevation, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the three mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Yea, I marveled very much. So, my opinion, I think he's talking about the Garden of Eden here, or Eden, and Abraham's bosom. Oops. Okay. Job 15:27 through 30. Because he covered his face with his fatness. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is about the beast here, right? This is my opinion. This is about Lucifer, right? Because check this out. Job 15:27 to 30. Because he covereth his face with fatness, and maketh collops of fat on his flanks. And he dwelleth in desolate cities. We know that, right? Where the deep came up, right? Okay. In desolate cities, in the houses which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth, right? So Lucifer already is called the shining one, right? That's what Hallel means. So it's Hallel ben Shahar. Shahar is a Canaanite god. So think about that one. And then also Isaiah 14 also calls him a man anyways. So, but let me show you. And also the prince of Tyrus, in my opinion, is Lucifer. Ezekiel 28:1 through 8. The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, right? What did Lucifer say? That I am a god, right? And thou hast said, I am a god. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Atlantis, right? Lucifer, in my opinion, is Poseidon, right? Who was the king of Atlantis, because in Isaiah 14 talks about how has the golden city ceased, right? You know what? I might as well bring that up. That way I could prove my point here. Did I spell that? Oh, I'm not. What am I doing here? There it is. Isaiah 14. And I know you guys have seen this a billion times, but I do this for the new people who do watch. Okay. So right here. Okay. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. So we went, real quick. If you notice here, it says the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Very interesting. Okay. How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And we hear this in all the mythologies, right? Atlantis, Egypt's 7 golden cities, right? El Dorado, right? Many of them. China has them. And anyways, And here where it calls Lucifer a man. So what I'm saying here, he's not Satan, because Satan's not a man, right? Okay, let me find it here. Okay, how art thou fallen from Lucifer, heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit also upon the mount of congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, just like what it says here with Prince of Tyrus, right? Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. So there you go, Lucifer. But not only that, right here. And thou made a world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, and opened not the house of his. I'm sorry. 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? He is a man, and in my opinion, the beast of Revelation. What you're seeing here is the Bible identifying you who the beast of Revelation is, right? Because it says he goes into the pit, right? Okay, right here. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as a raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot. Oh, right here. This is a better one. Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And what do we see here in Revelation? The beast that thou sawest. The beast that thou sawest was before John's day, and is not in John's day, but shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And what does the beast say, right? I will sit in the temple of God, and, here. Okay. Okay. I think we're close. Sit in. And by the way, I want to read this before we get to that. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? It's going to make you think differently on this real quick here. Okay. 2 Thessalonians. We'll bring this up. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. What does it say here? That's not it. Let me go back. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God? Okay. So now we have Lucifer, right? Right here. Dwelleth in desolate cities, which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. And he shall not be rich, just like Tyrus. And he's under the earth with his little minions, right? Or the Nephilim and stuff like that. Okay. Ezekiel 26:20. When I shall bring thee down with them that descend into the pit, with the people of old time. This is going to be in our Warhammer video. But and shall set thee in the low parts of the earth, and places desolate of old. There it is. And with them that go down to the pit, that thou be not inhabited, and I shall set glory in the land of the living. Revelation 10:2-6. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot upon the earth. And he cried loud with a voice, and when a lion roareth, and when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders uttered their voices, in my opinion, the 7 archangels, right? The 7 spirits of God, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which are the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. Here's the kicker. And I swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are therein are, and the earth and the things that are therein are in the sea, and the things that which are therein, and there should be time no longer. So here we go. So we have who created heaven and the things that are therein, in heaven, right? In the heavens, and the earth and the things therein, and the sea and the things that therein. That should be time no longer. Okay. Luke 16:20-30. Now this is about the Abraham's bosom, right? So Luke 16:20-30. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and designed to be fed with crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died, and he was buried. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. If you notice, he's not sleeping. There's people out there who talk about, like when you die, you go into a soul sleep or something like that. I don't see any evidence of that. But anyways, because you have people crying and making suit, right? And, what is it? The altar of God there, right? Or the altar of the earth, right? You have people making suit saying, hey, when are you going to take revenge on these people who killed us and stuff like that, right? Anyways. Okay. And he cried and said, Father, read that. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. See, it's not worth. I mean, was that little piece of food worth, not giving it to him? You know what I mean? Was it really worth that? Anyways. And beside all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him into my father's house. And they're talking with each other, but this guy can't. They can't go one place to another, both sides, right? The Abraham's bosom, or the place of torment, right? Or hell. Okay, for I have 5 brethren that meet, Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my... I read that. I'm sorry, guys. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham saith unto him, They have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. Interesting. Okay. But if you saw that, they were communicating, they seemed to be coherent, they weren't sleeping. So, interesting. So the book of Enoch, chapter 22. I already read that, didn't I? No, I did not. I forgot about this one. Okay, cool. And thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain, and of hard rock. And there was in it 4 hollow places. Interesting, for the topic we're talking about. Deep and wide and very smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and he said unto me, These hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein, yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, until their appointed period, to the period till the period appointed. It's the same thing. Anyways, I'm sorry. Till the great judgment comes upon them. I saw the spirits of the children of men who were dead, and check this out. And their voice went forth to heaven and made suit. Okay. So when it says dead, it's not saying, grave dead, right? It's talking about they're dead, or I should say in a holding place, I guess. I don't know. Spirits in a holding place. I guess you could say that, something to that extent. I don't know, It's probably better just to say that. Okay, and their voice went from heaven to made suit. Then I asked Raphael the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, The spirit, who is it, whose voice goeth forth and maketh suit? And he answered me, saying, This is the spirit that went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew, and he makes his suit against him till his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of men. Then I asked regarding it, and regarding all the hollow places, why is one separated from the other, right? The gulf that is between the Abraham's bosom and hell, right? Okay, and he answered me, and he said unto me, These 3 have been made, and the spirits of the dead might be separated, and such a division has been made. The spirits of the righteous, in which there is a bright spring of water, and such has been made for sinners when they die, and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain till the great day of judgment and punishment, and the torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever, guys. Forever. There's people out there who say it's just a holding place and then boop, done, right? And you get burned alive or whatever. No. It says, there he shall bind them forever. Okay. So think about that. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners, who were complete in transgression, and of the transgressors they shall be companions. But their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, Blessed be my Lord, and the Lord of righteousness, who ruleth forever. Amen. So Ezekiel 31:18. To whom art thou thus like in glory and in greatness amongst the trees of Eden? Yet thou shalt be brought down with the trees of Eden. So here it is, being brought down into the nether parts of the earth. There it is. I probably should have put this up a little bit further, but anyways. Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised. So here we go. There's the gulf, right? It's going to be right there, but there's that gulf between them. In the midst of the uncircumcised, with them that be slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude. Is it? Right. Son of man, well for the multitude of Egypt, and cast them down, even her and the daughters of the famous nations, unto the nether parts of the earth. So, okay. Interesting stuff. We got Pharaoh here right now. By the way, this is about the Assyrian. So if you read here, okay, morning I covered the deep for him. And by the way, I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell with them that descend into the pit. And the trees of Eden, the choice of the best of Lebanon. So he's right there in Eden with the nations. By the way, makes you think, doesn't it? They also went down to hell with him, unto them that be slain with the sword, and they that were his arm, that dwell under his shadow in the midst of the heathen. To whom art thou thus like in glory and greatness amongst the trees of Eden? Yet thou shalt be brought down with the trees of Eden to the nether parts of the earth. So let me prove to you that it's talking about, you know what? Right here. Verse 3. Behold, the Assyrian, this is another seraphim, right? Like Satan. Satan's the top dog. He's second in command, basically. Was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of a high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. And this is where the deep is, right? This is where they intertwine themselves. The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high, with her rivers running about as plants. And what does it say about Hela? This might be a little bit long, guys, so I apologize, but it's all connecting together. Norse. So right here, her name is Hel, or Hela, whatever you want to say. Where is it? Right. She encompasses Niflheim. Or Niflheim is her abode, right? Or, you know what, might as well read it. Not Loki. I don't want Loki. What the heck? Stop it. Oh my goodness, what did I do? There we go. So Hel in Norse mythology, originally the name of the world of the dead, it later came to mean the goddess of death. Hell. Makes you think, doesn't it? But anyways, the world of darkness appears to have been divided into several sections, one of which was Nastrond, the shores of corpses. There stood a castle facing north, It was filled with the venom of serpents, interesting, in which murderers, adulterers, and perjurers suffered torment, while the dragon Nidhogg sucks the blood from their bodies. Mention is made in an early poem of the 9 worlds of Niflheim. So let's go to Niflheim. The cold, dark, misty world of the dead, ruled by the goddess Hel. Death and Hell. Remember that? So we gotta remember where it is. Okay. Where is it? Give it dead. Where? Gotta remember where it's at. Where it says, "In death and hell will be judged." Okay. It's Revelation. This one? No. The other thing. Anyways, I'll just find it here. Oh, but yeah, death and hell, right here. Delivered up the dead, right? And right here, in death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Interesting. But not only that, Verglimmer, from which, Niflheim contained a well. Verglimmer, from which many, rivers float. What do we have here? Where is it? No, that's not it. The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high with her, it's a her, by the way, rivers running round about his plants, sent out her little rivers unto the trees of the field. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. Matthew 12:40. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Pay attention to this. Or no, this isn't it. I'm sorry. But okay. So shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The middle of the earth, right? Okay. Jonah 2. Then Jonah prayed unto Lord his God out of the fish's belly, and he said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I. Is this the deep? Leviathan? Very interesting. For thou hast cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple. The waters compassed about me, and even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped up about my head, and I went down to the bottoms of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever. These earth and her bars are the gates, the doors, right? And what did God say here? Here, I'll bring it up. He shut up the sea with doors. Job 38:8. Or who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth as it had issued out of the womb. He shut it up with doors the sea, and it's coming forth. I think I just read it twice there. Okay, Job 38:8, or who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb. Okay, so he's talking about these doors there. And I went to the bottom, yet hast thou brought up my life from corruption, O Lord my God. Amen. When my soul fainted with me, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came in unto thee, into thine holy temple. They that observe lying vanities forsake their own mercy, but I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have sowed. Salvation is of the Lord. Amen. And the Lord spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. So very interesting that we have out of the belly of hell. And Jonah prayed into the Lord his God out of the fish's belly. Interesting. But here we go. So, there are two metaphors in Jonah 2 and 6. The bottoms of the mountains and the bars of the earth around me. Bottoms of the mountains, literally ends or cutting off, as in margin. So the vulge, extrema momentium, mountains were in the Hebrew conception the pillars of the world. So these guys have pillars holding these things up, right? These places. And the earth. Who knows? Having their foundations firmly planted in the sea. These hidden bases of the hills were therefore the verge of the earth itself. And one lost among them would be close on the underworld of death. There's death again, right? On the bars of death, the earth with her bars. Literally, the earth her bars behind me forever. The earth gates were closed upon me forever. There was no possibility of return. The metaphor of a gateway to Sheol is common. Isaiah 38:10, and etc. But the earth is nowhere else said to be so guarded. Ewald therefore proposes to read Sheol here, but it is quite as natural to imagine a guarded passage out of the land of the living as into the land of the dead. Anyways, so there you guys go. Now, of course, I bring this up all the time, but it's for the new people. Chapter 60. And on that day were two monsters parted. A female monster named Leviathan, female, remember that, to dwell in the abysses of the ocean over the fountains of the waters. We have here Niflheim, right? A well which many rivers flowed. And then we have here, so that we have the angel with his foot on the sea, but now we have the monster of the earth, right? But the male is named Behemoth. Both of these are named in the Bible, in Job, by the way, who occupied with his breast a waste wilderness named Dudaim, on the east of the garden where the elect and righteous dwell, where my grandfather was taken up, the seventh from Adam. So there you guys go. Named Dudaim on the east of the garden where the elect and righteous dwell. So, this is, remember, in the middle of the earth. So there's monsters there, right? Okay. Revelations 5:3. By the way, this is King James, just letting you guys know. I just was lazy here, it looks like. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book, and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look therein. Neither under the earth. There it is again. But I kind of want to keep reading this because this is awesome here. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. That's interesting. The book of Revelation, there's 7 seals, right? And behold, and lo, the midst of the throne and the 4 beasts, in the midst of the those 4 beasts are the cherubim, I do believe. In the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into the earth. It's these guys. I'll bring them up. Wikis. Okay. These right here. So the names and functions of the 7 archangels. And these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. That's what you would call the abyss, right? That prison house is what it is, basically. Raphael, one of the holy, where he puts like the wicked of the wicked, right? The wicked angels and the Nephilim and stuff. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Ragiel, one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. There's for the Warhammer fans out there. Seraquil, or Serakiel, sorry, Seraquil, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits, who sin in the spirit. 7. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise, and the serpents and the cherubim. Satan is one of these guys, right? Because he's called the serpent, the dragon, right? He is a seraphim, not a cherubim. And seraphim literally means fiery serpent. So, and it also can mean poisonous serpent as well. Ramiel, one of the holy angels, whom God set over those who rise. There you guys go. The 7 spirits, right? The 7 eyes. The 7 horns and the 7 eyes. So there you guys go. We're going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, because I really enjoyed doing the research for it. But anyways, guys, I hope you get to know Jesus, because he's what matters. He's the only one that prevailed and to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. He was the only one. So, just what I like to say is, or what my mentor, I guess you could call him, the guy I used to watch, David Carrico, would say. It's the cross, the doctrine, Jesus' very own words, and the whole Bible, in my opinion, and the example. He is the only way to the Father, and He will prove Himself to you if you let Him. And He will not lead you astray, I promise you. So just say this: Lord, or God, if you're there, or if you are real, show me or reveal yourself to me and show me the truth. That was kind of a bit, sorry guys. So, say it like this: God, if you are real, reveal yourself to me and show me the truth. And He will. I learn new things every single day. And it's amazing. This stuff outbeats any kind of fantasy you will ever get. And I just never stop learning. And what Jesus has done for me is just amazing. I shouldn't be here. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. And you guys have a wonderful day.